This trade was crazy then. It's still crazy now. Jarrett Allen, James Harden, and Karis LeVert all swapped for each other. Cleveland, Brooklyn, Indiana, Houston. We're going to go back over that now as we welcome you into Cavs Digest. Why are we talking about this? We'll get into that as we do ask you to subscribe. The channel is growing. We are getting more views. We are getting more people jumping on board with us and kind of looking at what we're talking about Cavaliers-wise, other teams-wise. I mean, we're discussing anything that's going with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Excited to jump into this one today as we ask you subscribe. Drop down into the comments. Let us know what you think. Jarrett Allen. Remember that trade? 2020, the Cavaliers are rebuilding. COVID is ending-ish kind of towards that end as we head into that 2021 of January, March. And such an exciting trade for the Cavs because I think we knew at the time the Cavaliers made out with something great. Brooklyn needed to get a deal done. Houston needed to rebuild as Harden was wearing a fat suit pregame and going through all this stuff. Remember the fat suit? Classic. Love it. Google it if you haven't seen it. And Indiana was looking to move up a level. That was the facts. As we look back on the trade here, Cavaliers got Jarrett Allen, and I will say, as a throw-in, Brooklyn needed James Harden so badly. They had a young Nick Claxton, and they thought they could go without Allen, who they'd had for multiple years, been through so much with them, and they thought they could move on. Again, Indiana, as I said, trying to go up a level. They were trying to just figure out a way to kind of stay relevant and keep moving forward. James Harden, they wanted to assemble a big three there. James Harden was that next piece to get that going for Brooklyn, who was just trying to be relevant. The Knicks weren't, and Brooklyn was trying to kind of take that mantle, take that role, and kind of move on into that next era, into that next idea. And Victor Oladipo, of course, goes to the Rockets along with, let me tell you, a ton of picks. I mean, picks on picks on picks and pick swaps. That trade was made for those guys moved. The Cavaliers also gave up Dante Exum and a second-round pick. That's what they gave up to get Jarrett Allen. Dante Exum and a second-round pick. And Dante Exum's helping out the Mavericks right now, but at that time, Dante Exum was a throwaway defender, a failed lottery pick. I mean, you name it. He was struggling, and it was clear. So at the time, I thought the Cavaliers got a steal, and it's even more clear now the Cavaliers got a steal in Jarrett Allen. He has been terrific for the Cavs. He has been a rock for the Cavaliers pre-Donovan Mitchell. During Donovan Mitchell, he's been relatively healthy for years. I know you have obviously ended last season with that rib injury, but almost a freak and very serious injury there with that rib injury. He's been an all-star and just a consistently great player. And I think we knew what we were going to get there. Maybe not even an all-star, but we knew we would get a really good player, which if you remember, the Cavaliers needed it. I mean, they had some duds on that 2019-2020 team, the Colin Sexton COVID team. I mean, they were going through it. They were struggling with some guys that had no right to be on the floor but were playing. So more than happy to have gotten Jarrett Allen on that team and get him involved with the Cavaliers. Now, the question is, why are we talking about this? Why are we going back through this trade? I don't care about James Harden. He's two teams later. We'll mention Karis LeVert, of course, a little bit. Victor Oladipo, we mentioned him in our last video. You can go back and watch that one. He's loving on the Cavaliers a little bit, so we appreciate him for that. Chris Fedor, Cavaliers beat reporter for Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer, on his podcast, the Wine and Gold Talk podcast with Ethan Sands. Great listen. If you're all in on Cavs, you finish up one of our videos and you want to watch a little more, go check that out. When the Cavs got Jarrett Allen, when they were able to trade for him, and they still, to this day, they still can't believe they only had to give up a late first-round pick, which actually ended up being a second, I believe, to get him. There are people inside the organization that still laugh and talk about it. Wait, we got him for a late first-rounder? Seriously, what happened there? Cavaliers still sitting around, getting ready for this season, chopping it up, and they're saying, I can't believe they gave us Jarrett Allen for a late first-rounder in Dante Exum. I may be mistaken on if it was a second or a late first-rounder, but I believe it was maybe it ended up moving up. But Jarrett Allen's been terrific. 16.5, 10.5, blocking the ball, tough on defense. And again, I understand he finished last season with some injuries, and that does stink, but Jarrett Allen has been extremely consistent for the Cavaliers. If I can point you to the age on this graphic, still only 26, folks. Still only 26 years old. Plenty of good years left for the Cavs. Signed an extension, and if they want to keep him, great. He's got plenty of good years left. If they want to trade him, they can sell him easily as a 26-year-old that's been consistently good. Got out physicaled a little bit in the Knicks series, but I agree. I look back on this trade still and say to myself, unbelievable that the Cavaliers were able to get what would be an all-star for them, what has been a rock for them on defense and offense. I mean, there's been games where they've just been running things through him, which has been terrific. And look, good attitude guy. Is he a big leader and a big vocal presence? Not necessarily as a troublemaker. Is he consistent? Is he a troublemaker? No. Is he consistent day to day? Absolutely. Jarrett Allen has been terrific for the Cavaliers. And look, you want to do it. I think it's fun that Caris LeVert is kind of a part of this because the Cavaliers end up getting Caris LeVert from Indiana for Ricky Rubio and a first-round pick that they ended up having to give up because they made the play-in. But, I mean, same thing. And Caris LeVert, again, say what you want about him. It's a new era with the Cavaliers because they ended up getting good players. They moved on. They got great players. Drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think about the Jarrett Allen trade. Is it still crazy to this day? Does it hit you as like, man, I can't believe all we gave up was a late first and Dante Exum for the years that we've had with Jarrett Allen, or are we overdoing this? It's like, hey, Jarrett Allen was on the trade block, buddy. Almost gone. Need to reconsider how great he is and kind of what it's been. I mean, I still think that trade was crazy then. It's still crazy now, as I talked about. Now, before we wrap things up on this video, and we appreciate you watching again, get down into the comments, subscribe if you haven't. I do want to mention, I know a lot of basketball fans are watching this. This book, no ad here. I mean, they're not paying me courtside. It's an NBA photography book. Dave McMenamin of ESPN is a part of it. Really just legendary photos from the years with little descriptions, quotes. I mean, this is a basketball fan must-have. Just want to plug that because I like to kind of throw that out there for people. Again, it's Courtside. It's an NBA photography book. Pictures from if you're a Cavs fan, if you're anything else of a fan, specific player fan. It's got them. It's got quotes. It's got stats. ESPN's Dave McMenamin a part of it. 40 years of NBA photography, and they're really, really awesome buy. It's a great gift if you want to get it for somebody else who's an NBA fan, or even one of my friends is a photographer. And he's a late NBA fan, but he's like, whoa, what is this? And he's going through, wow, these are incredible, these quotes, and just going through it there. So always try to stay plugged in with what's going on NBA-wise, and if you want something cool, again, I'm getting nothing from it, just trying to recommend a good book to other NBA people. Be sure to subscribe to Cavs Digest.